Hi guys, thanks for clicking on the video today. My name is Elliot Forbes and this is episode number 17 of Men's Grooming Weekly. So if this is the first time you're watching any of my videos, this channel is dedicated to hair, beard and grooming tips for the modern man. So if that's something you're interested in, you might want to consider subscribing. I hope everyone's doing well. It's a bit of a weird feeling at the moment, isn't it? I know last week I actually started to get a little bit of cabin fever. I got a little bit frustrated being in the house. It was obviously raining last week, so it was... It's a tough time, isn't it? I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, fingers crossed it won't be too long. They did actually in Ireland, I think on Saturday night, they put a comment out that it's going to be at least July 20th that hairdressers and barbershops over there are going to be able to open. So fingers crossed we're not going to be doing the same things over in England, because that is going to be crazy if that is the case. But anyway, onto the show. And obviously every week starting off with a new product. This week I'm using a L'Oreal Techni fixture paste, I think it is. This week's hair icon is Ryan Gosling, and then we'll be finishing off with an Elliot answer show. But first off, as always, we'll be starting with my favourite TikTok from the last 7 days. Okay guys, and this was something actually I filmed earlier because it was, I've got a different product in now. But onto the product of this week, here we go. So this week's product of the week is the L'Oreal Techni Fix Polish. And as you can see, I think it hasn't really worked very well. I've only had it in for a very short amount of time so far and it's already flopped completely. It's fallen completely flat, it doesn't seem to have any hold with it at all and almost has like a real greasy, sticky feel to it, which actually makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable right now. It's a very different type of product than what I would normally wear anyway, but even if you were going to have a pomade and something that was a bit more of a wet look feel to it, you would still want it to have that certain hold. Say if you're going to have a more of a classic pompadour finish to your haircut, then you'd want to use something that is a bit more pomade based, a bit more of a wet style to it. But this just doesn't seem to have the hold. It doesn't seem to want to stay in its place at all. So for me, this is a bit of a no-no. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm going to get up right now and go and wash my hair because it's awful. And this week's hair icon is Ryan Gosling. In at number 5 is this blonde haircut from the film when he was in The Place Beyond the Pines. Love this, it's really cool, very different to what you would normally have, but I think the blonde works well on him. And in number 4, it shows how the importance of being able to style your hair differently. This is probably the very similar haircut than what a very traditional Ryan Gosling haircut would be, but by having it styled down and forward and a little bit more textured, it just gives you a completely different feel for it. At number 3 is this real low maintenance cut, obviously faded through the sides, which is something you don't normally see with him. Normally has obviously a lot more length. The texture on top, which is very short, very manageable, I think works really well with him. In at number 2, this look is probably more of a grown out haircut, pushing it back, real nice texture, wearing it a bit more looser through the top, still with the sort of slightly off center parting and slightly more of a wetter look product than you would normally have. And in number 1 is this real quintessential classic Ryan Gosling haircut. I think when I look at this is exactly what I think of him. I think it works really well with him. I think it's the epitome of what Ryan Gosling is. I think it looks brilliant on him. And today's question is, what is the benefit of using a shaving brush? So I've had quite a few people in the comment section asking, what's the reason for using a shaving brush? What's the benefit of it? And isn't it a little bit extra? And there's quite a few reasons as to why you would use it. And number 1 reason when you're using it is it exfoliates the skin, gets rid of all of the dead skin cells, cleans the face off. So actually when you're shaving, it makes it as smooth as possible. When you are shaving, you want your face to be nice and warm. You want all the hairs to be nice and soft. This obviously warms them up, it softens them down, and not only softens them, it lifts them up so they're not sort of stuck to the skin. While lifting them up, it makes them point out at an angle, making the blade much easier just to glide straight off them. And the third part, it turns it into a bit of a ritual then. It's not such a stress and a hassle to shave. If you make it a real ritual and a point of enjoyment and using nice products and using nice brush and nice razor, it's not such a trial then. You'd use this and it's actually a pleasure. You get into a real ritual and it's something to look forward to then. So there we go. Thanks for watching today, guys. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to drop me a message down below in the comments section or any of my social media channels, which are all on the side here. What would you like to see on the channel? I've been recording a lot of videos. I've been doing it now for the last 8 months or so. Nothing's really gone amazingly well, to be honest. Nothing's really been received that well. I haven't had too many comments or too much feedback. So if anyone is watching this, what would you like to see? What doesn't work? What do you think does work? And what would you like to see more of, I guess? Any comments would be appreciated, and thanks for your time. Thank you also for watching today. If you've got this far, I hope you have a brilliant day. Much love, Elliot.